Giants baseball. Told straight. You're listening to NorCal Sports Network. No homers, no casuals. Just truth. Let's go!
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network, talking Giants baseball. As they say, we've got the new logo. I see Dom out there in the chat. Let me show you guys the finished product that we are working with, the brand new change. You see the old logo up there in the top right-hand and left-hand corners. It's got the kind of the California colors and red, white, and green, and some black in there. Now we've got the new Giants colored logo here, and with a little update, little twist, a little sharper, much sharper, not a little, a lot sharper. Take a look at this, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Those are actual colors Giants use. Dom pulled their color scheme. We got the stitches in the center there with the baseball. That is the new NorCal Sports Network logo. And we're going to be putting that on some merch, baby. We're going to have some different kind of merch, and so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So appreciate that, Dom. Beautiful job. I mean, incredible. Great work. And hello to everybody. It's good to have you here tonight. I'm not going to go too long, but we thought opening of spring training, got all the players on the how's that for a thumbnail? We got the manager plus the right now the odds-on betting favorite of the 9 starters and Logan Webb in there for your starting pitcher opening day. That might be your opening day lineup if everything goes to according to as they should go. Hopefully no injuries. Talked a little bit to Casey Schmidt today. He's feeling well. No restrictions with his hand, so he's full go. So that's good news. And we'll see where this thing goes. So tonight the question is, the Giants have talent. There's no doubt they have talent. But the question of the night is it enough? All right? And what does enough actually mean, Dallas? Is it enough to win the division? Enough for a wild card? Enough just to be relevant in September? Or enough to truly compete with the Dodgers? What do you think?
Well, I would like to see them going into this year, entering the season, you feel like they have a good shot to make the playoffs, right? That's what you'd like. They're not going to win the division. They're not going to beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers are spending $100 million more than the Giants.
100 million or 200? I don't know what it is. It's
ridiculous. 1.5, 100, 150. It's a substantial amount more. So it's hard to realistically think they have a shot to win the division, but you want to have them a good shot to make the playoffs. And I don't think they're in that. They're there yet. I think right now they have a chance to make the playoffs if everything goes well. And that's a little lower than where we would want to be at this time. Now, there's a chance, if things go well, if the pitching stays healthy, if Malley and Hauser do, pitch really well, if Landon Roop takes the next step forward, everything kind of has to go right, and then the Giants have a chance. But injuries could crop up. A couple of guys have a bad year. The bullpen is a big question mark. That could be a massive problem if they don't get a little luck as far as that goes. So a lot of question marks still. It's the first day of spring training, but I don't know about you, but it just listening to all the interviews today, all the people talking. I mean, this is this part of the year that is hopeful. I mean, spring training is like, everyone, there's good vibes. Everyone is healthy. Everyone is in the best shape of their lives right now, and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's the cliches you hear every time. They've never felt better, and they're in a great place. So it just remains to be seen. I mean, there's a lot of question marks, and we're going to see some of those question marks answered as spring unfolds, and some of those questions are going to wait until the games count, and we start seeing how things actually materialize in real games. So at this point, it's just interesting to see, people arriving, people talking, interviews, and we'll see how things start to go once they start playing some games.
Yeah. And by the way, once they start playing games, you guys know the drill. NorCal Sports Network is here for you after every game. That's right. We may even do something a little different this year. We'll see, but we'll be here for all 162. One of us or both of us or some type of combination. We'll be here. NorCal Sports Network bringing you the results, talk about the game, break it down, and it's going to be an interesting season. But here's a couple of things that I like. I like the fact that they have Tony Vitello at the helm. Okay, I think that is really good. I think he's going to be somewhat of a surprise in that the players are I think they're going to be excited to play for him. And, we actually have an interview just under 5 minutes of Tony Vitello from the dugout today. There was a lot of reporters there, national media. Bob Nightingale was there. Also, I believe it was Ken Rosenthal. And Ken Rosenthal has not been too crazy about the idea. He thinks that managers should have to pay their dues. He doesn't like the idea. And he asked a question today. You might be able to hear it in the deal. It's not a very friendly type of question. It's not mean spirit or anything, but it's not like, hey, it's the guys are taking little digs, okay, yeah, Ken.
But he pushes back a little bit.
Yep.
He in his own respectful way counters his point. So I thought that was one of the better answers he had today.
Right. And this is from X or Twitter, and this is from Marty Lurie's account, who was right there. You'll hear Marty ask a question or two in this interview. I've been in this dugout when they do the interviews, when I had the 1 year that I had some credentials back in 2023, with Gabe Kapler, and there's generally about 6 reporters. It's Pavlovich, Slusser, John Shea. Who else shows up there?
Maria Gordato.
Now you got Justice De Los Santos, who's showing up, and he's on the beat for the. I believe he's with the Mercury.
Baggerly.
So there's about 6 to 7. Then there's generally on any given day there could be 3 or 4 other people from national media or different things. So I thought it was interesting today that the national media first right there for Tony Vitello. So let's take a listen to the interview, and this is coming from Marty Lurie's baseball Marty on Twitter. So here we go.
So by now there's been a text message at a minimum with everybody, but just wanted to let everyone know where I was coming from, and same for the other staff members as it relates to pitching.
Did you have any messages you wanted to deliver?
Again, more just kind of background. I think there's decisions and conversations that come with my role. So by now, at least everyone hopefully knows my name, but a little bit more of just background and origin and thought process, maybe some things that I highlight so that guys at least have an understanding on where some of those conversations might come from or what might be at the backbone of some of those decisions.
there's going to be a lot of new experience for you. I know there's fall ball, but it's a big, larger in scale. Just how do you plan to maybe navigate just like divesting your time here, delegating responsibility, or maybe how involved do you plan to be in some of the day-to-day stuff?
Yeah, I think get more comfortable with delegating, but I think about 9 years ago, I definitely warmed up to it with the group of people that I was around. And obviously, Frank and Q are guys, but I was around great people that were smarter and better at what they were in charge of doing than I am. So that was one of the reasons we took our time on the coaching staff, was to make sure you call blind spots, or just making sure you're covering areas that you want to, or able to lean on people. So kind of pick up where we left off type of thing. But yeah, a lot of new experiences. But also, the guys have been at it since January. It might be another question that pops up, but today's kind of day one, but it seems like we're kind of picking up, other than everybody wearing the jerseys. Got mine on underneath, so everybody knows who's who, and it represents day one. The guys are kind of picking up from where they left off, because a lot of guys have been putting in work.
Is there anybody behind health-wise?
Not behind, no. And I think it's kind of I know we send out a list. It's kind of a straightforward deal at this point, knock on all kinds of wood. But, I think the biggest thing is for us to get a few of those arms, two in particular, kind of on track and available at some point during the season.
Would that be Foy and Henches? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you did these media scrums down there, how many people were in it?
Similar amount, to be honest with you. That was an interesting part of the hiring process was, the media it's a huge presence in Knoxville. And then also in the SEC, you want to talk about scrutiny, that's those people's lives down there. So they want to know everything. And of course, there's high standards in the league too. So it was similar. Obviously, there's differences.
But you're used to this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever sat down and like campfire approach where everybody's sitting around like here.
We can bring marshmallows.
That'd be good. The sun's not out, so it kind of feels like it'd be fitting. But no, some similarities, but obviously there's a little bit of variance here.
Did you get any feedback from any of the players today after talking to them?
No, when we got done, Justin Message talked to the team. Wash had a quick point to make. Christian Wonders did as well. And then I hustled down because we were behind. Main reason we were behind is I rambled a little bit, have a tendency to do that. So I tried to throw the jersey on and hustle over to you guys as quick as possible.
If this goes the way you want, obviously, this is going to be an 8.5-month process this year. Do you have to, just comparing the schedules of the college season and the major league season, can you, just because you have the reputation as such a passionate guy, can you do that for 162 games? Do you think that translates?
If I can, I'll retire. I can tell you that. So I've never done the exact schedule before. The one thing I will say, without hopefully sounding too preachy, is college coaches deserve a lot of credit and they deserve a lot of leeway from their families. I know guys might think across the dugout we're enemies or whatever, but I always had the utmost respect for anyone that had a family, even just a wife, maybe not even kids, and do the recruiting thing. So our schedule is not what you're referring to, but the one I'm used to is they've already had their spring training. It's done. They're going to play this weekend, and then you go until about August 15th, and you do not get the brief. And area code games, which is something like Bryce played at, and a lot of these guys, ends, and that's about when you get a chance to take a breath and maybe spend some time with your family, go on a boat for a couple of days. So similar length there.
Is there any nervous?
Okay, there we go. Let me pull that down from the screen. Guys, that question, and I heard it all off season. Can he do this for 162? Look, people don't realize that it probably takes more energy to go recruit and try to convince a kid, a 17, 18-year-old kid, and his parents when he's competing against probably 20 or 30 or plus more schools, all trying to recruit this kid to your school. And you're jumping on a plane, and then you're staying a night, some hotel, and then you're going to the house, and then you're doing the same thing the next day and the next day and the next day. And that takes a ton of energy, way more energy than what it's going to take to actually manage, because that's the party. That's the easy part. Look, I was in sales. I've been in sales for, oh gosh, most of my career. But when you got to put it together a presentation and you're going to try to convince somebody to invest $500,000, $1 million with me as their advisor, or in some cases, it could be more. Obviously, most people don't have all that money, but the average is, $100,000 or so. But it takes a lot of work and energy, and you're putting on your best foot, and you got to do that over and over again. But then, you know what? We get the weekends. We get to relax and try to reload. These guys don't get that. It's just all year long. He probably, as a college coach, takes maybe a few weeks, maybe a month at the most, where he's not working combined. It's just go, go, go. And so I don't think people realize how much goes into, you're not talking, coaching at Loyola Marymount or something like that for baseball. You're talking, a major college in the SEC, and you're competing against all those teams in the SEC, the ACC, the then Pac-12, and all these teams. Right. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. It is fewer games, though, so it will be an adjustment. And right. I know I listened to Dan and Eric and over on Marty Lurie's show earlier today, and they were talking about, what happens when there's an 8-game losing streak. And that's going to be an adjustment. I don't know if in Tennessee they ever lost 8 in a row. Probably not. So, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and there will be down times, and you're going to have to learn how to not be able to overcome those and, try to work through them, which you'll have to do. There is a learning curve, and we're already seeing it here. I think that I listened to the Splash Hit podcast with FP Santangelo, and he says that Vitello is talking about his old girlfriend too much, which means that he mentioned Tennessee 5, 6, 7 times in these interviews today, and talking about his old job and how it relates. And then the other thing was he said Coach Tingler or whatever. He called one of his staff coach, which they don't do in the big leagues. They call them by their first name. You have the skipper, right. Skip, and then you have, Justin, or you have whoever. So right. that'll be an adjustment. But that was I can't remember who. It must have been FP that mentioned that also. So
yeah, it'll be that first year might be tough, like you said, with the old girlfriend, because it's such, it's everybody's talking about it. And I think the further he can get away from that,
he doesn't have anything else to talk about. He's never managed a big league game before, you know. So this is really his first day on the job. So of course he's going to be referencing his past experience, which was in the college ranks. So
and there will be those tough days. There'll be some tough days.
Absolutely. But how do you respond to that? How do you overcome that? How do you bounce back and make adjustments? And that's all part of it, making adjustments and, steering the ship, which is what he's going to have to do.
Yeah, that's funny. Coach Tingler. Yeah, that's how it is around high school and college sports. It's, it's funny because my brother is a coach at University of California, Berkeley, for the, football program. And he's been there forever. He played there and all that. But, our last name is Coach Emilio. And some people think our last name is Emilio. And we're just called, hey, people think I'm going around calling myself Coach Emilio. Yeah, I like to call myself Coach Emilio, It's so it's kind of funny, but he's known because Coach Coach Emilio is a mouthful, and most people just call us Coach. So, yeah, exactly. There it is. So my brother is actually known around Cal as Coach. So,
Coach, yeah.
yeah, like when I met Aaron Rodgers on the road when he was with the Packers, I, introduced myself to him, and he knew my brother real well. He says, "Oh, how's Coach doing?" And so yeah. But anyway, um, this team though, Dallas. Let's talk about the actual team because we want to get into this. Is the talent? I mean, it's there, right? I mean, but when we look at the rotation, we see Webb, Ray, and then it's Roop, Molly, and Hauser. All you could say question marks because Roop didn't pitch a full season and got hurt. Molly's been hurt pretty much every year except 21 when he had a really good season. And Hauser's up and down. And then you've got the bullpen question marks there. You probably have guys that, Foley and Henches. I thought Henches was ready to go, but it sounds like maybe he's not ready to go. Because
sounds like not.
Yeah.
Sounds like he needs to get Henches up, health wise, and Foley. Those are the two guys that are not healthy yet.
Yeah,
but,
so Henches might not come around until what? Maybe late April or May or something like that, possibly. I don't know.
Right. But like I said, I mean, these guys, there's question marks on them, but they both had really good seasons last year. I mean, Malley had a 2.18 earned run average in 16 games. 16 games is almost half a season. And then Hauser had a 3.3. So that was better than Roop, better than Robbie Ray, and almost as good as Logan Webb. And that was in 21 games. So, a little more than about 2/3 of a season.
Yeah,
so
I have
it's
a
not
feeling...
like these guys had terrible years last year. It's
Correct.
Just there is question marks if they can put an entire season together, 162. And it just remains to be seen. So, the ceiling is high with these guys. There's the potential for them to be very good, but I think that's an if. That's a question mark. You don't know. You know about Ray and you know about Logan Webb because these guys have done it repeatedly year after year. But Roop is brand new, and Malley and Hauser have had issues. So It really depends on what's going to happen. And then the insurance policy isn't there. They have guys they like. They have Birdsong and they have Wisenhunt and Tidwell and
McDonald
and Seymour. And, they have 5 guys that potentially could start games for you that they like. But they're also unproven, just like Roop. Roop had a season. These other guys really didn't put a whole season together in the majors. They had little flashes of what could be, and you hear positive signs. Birdsong looking good. Wisenhunt added a new pitch. So, again, question marks. You have potentially positive things, and obviously Buster likes these. He's higher on what these potential pitchers could be than we are. And, granted, we haven't really seen them and we haven't talked to them and we don't know how things are progressing. We don't have the advanced metrics, all the things that they have. So, you have to, people are very critical and that's understandable, but we do have to kind of wait and see. And, maybe they know something that we don't.
All right. Let's assume, let's say, Logan Webb, out of 162, that averages about for 5 rotation of 5, about 32 and a half starts. So let's give Webb 33. Let's
Yeah, he did 34 last year. So
yeah, so we'll give Webb 33 starts.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give Ray. Let's give Ray 30 starts.
Okay, he did 32 last year.
Right. So now we got 63. Let's give Roop 24.
Okay.
How many
He
did
did
last
22 last year, so
All
that
right.
would be an increase, which
All
makes
right.
sense.
Let's give Hauser 22.
All right. Well, he only pitched 21 last year, so you're saying it's going to be about the same.
Well, let's see if let's just okay. And Molly's going to get a little bit more than he did last year. I think he only did like 16, but let's give Molly 25.
Okay.
All right. So I messed up. 33 plus 30 plus, what did I say? 24 for Roop plus 22 plus 25, 134. So you need 28 starts from somewhere. So that's going to be Birdsong, Wisenhunt, Tidwell, McDonald, Seymour, whatever. So now,
or Scherzer.
This is, yeah, yeah. So this is where, maybe the Giants feel that one of these guys could step in and just, if let's say, one of them goes down and is out for 3-4 weeks, and then then someone else goes down, and then maybe they're counting on a Birdsong to give you 25 starts. I don't know, or a combination. We'll see. But this is what every team
enough
faces.
pitchers to cover it, but we don't know if they're any good.
Right. Every team faces this. I got a feeling that somebody's going to step forward. I really do. I got a feeling whether it's Tidwell, maybe it's guys that only need to do 3 or 4 starts, and then
they really like Tidwell.
Yeah. So,
and McDonald looked great at the end of last year.
So yeah, and we'll see. Yeah, how that goes. And then there's always guys that could emerge, from somewhere else. So, by the way, Justin Verlander signed a 1-year deal today to go back to the Detroit Tigers, where it all started for him. I think the Tigers are really going for it. I mean, not that Verlander is going to push him over the top, but he's still got decent stuff. You saw that from last year.
Sure. It's a great move. It was a great move for the Giants last year because the same conversation we just had about how many innings we have to fill, we had that same conversation last year, and they had to, Verlander can fill innings.
Yeah. I do think Scherzer could end up signing. I don't think these guys are ready. Max Scherzer's not going to probably start on anybody's opening day roster this year, is my guess. My guess is he just waits.
But would you say, if you have a conversation with them and say, hey, we want to sign you for half a season for $9 million, and you be ready to go on June 15th?
Yeah, I would do that. Why wouldn't you? And are you willing to pitch in the bullpen as well until there's a need for the start, but you probably stretch him out. I mean, I've always wondered why Max Scherzer doesn't do the John Smoltz type thing. Smoltz became a closer at the end of his career. Why not Scherzer go out there and throw some smoke for 1 inning?
Yeah.
Yep. But, because he obviously doesn't have what he did years ago to be a guy that go out there and give you 6 clean innings on a regular basis. He might do that every 4th or 5th start, but otherwise he's probably going to be, middle of the road.
He's probably crafty enough to get through an inning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, like he did against the Giants in 21, unfortunately. So I do think the talent is there. You look at the lineup. This is going to be an interesting lineup. There's probably 1 or 2 spots at the most available on the position side. We can go through. We know that Devers, Arise, Adames, Chapman's your infield. Your outfield is Ramos, Bader, Lee, unless, so those
Right.
are and Bailey. So
Yeah.
and then your DH is most likely going to be Bryce. If not, they'll figure something different. But that's, I would say, the only jobs that, to me, are backup jobs. Is it Drew Gilbert or is it Luis Matos? Because Gilbert has
and that's
some
a good
options.
point that Marty made on the show earlier, is that at the end of spring training, when you have options, usually you're the one that goes down in favor of having to cut a guy and lose him completely.
Yeah.
So we've seen that many, many times in the past where guys that maybe they played really well, but because they had options, they were the one to go down to AAA to start the season, and then they find a way to bring them up later. So the people with options, Drew Gilbert, I think Christian Koss.
Let me look if Koss has options.
I believe he does, but Bryce Eldridge for sure. These are guys that can start in AAA, and you have no risk of losing them.
Minor league. Let me see. Minor league. LEAGUE. Options. Let's see if Christian Koss has any. After the 20, he serves in. Well, come on, tell me. And remaining minor league options. It looks like enters 26 with 1 year of service time. Okay, yeah. So he has options. Koss has options. I believe probably Fitzgerald has options.
Yep.
We know Drew Gilbert has options. I'm assuming that Grant McCray has options.
Yes.
So
the people that don't are Luis Matos and Gerard Encarnacion. They don't have options.
Yeah.
So if they don't make the big league roster to start the season, they're gone. And that's why there's a chance, if they play well, there's a very good chance they make the team unless they make a move and move them off somewhere.
Yeah. So I've got to believe that the last position on the team is going to come down to Gerard, Matos. I don't see both those guys making the team, even though they're out of options. I can't see both of them making the team. That just seems so like not giving you a balanced roster.
Plus the flexibility, you're going to want a left-handed outfielder.
Yeah.
So unless they both hit the cover off the ball, it's going to be one of those guys or the other, I would assume.
Yeah. So one of those guys, and then you've got Gilbert, Fitzgerald, Koss. Koss could get sent down if they decide they want to keep Fitzgerald because he's got the better speed. And if they say, you know what, Fitzgerald can also play the outfield corners. He can get out there in a pinch, do that. I personally think that I want to see somebody with real game threat, stolen base speed that is out there in a situation where, everybody knows he's going to steal. And I want that guy. I don't care if it's McCray or if it's Fitzgerald. I would say Fitzgerald has the upper hand just because McCray doesn't play infield.
No, and he's pretty bad with his strikeouts.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald's not great, but he has put together some service time in the big leagues where he was actually pretty good. And if he could find his confidence and find his swing and kind of recapture that, then he's a good player to have on the bench because he can play anywhere on the diamond. He has speed, and he can play the outfield. He can play center field if you want.
Here's my prediction, and I agree with what Cole's saying. Here's my prediction on Gerard. If in the first 3 weeks of camp, when games start and you see that Eldridge is like, he's doing fine, he's going to stick, I think they waived Gerard at that point.
I think you're right. I think, especially before they got a rise, Gerard was the insurance policy at DH in case Eldridge was not cutting it yet. But now it's with the rise, if Eldridge is not cutting it, then you could put a rise at DH and have Casey play second, and then you're actually maybe doing better. Obviously the best case scenario is Eldridge hits the cover off the ball and finds his place in the big leagues, and then you're in really good shape. But I think with Arise and Eldridge, if they're both playing, doesn't matter if Arise is there, so it doesn't matter. But if Eldridge is playing well, then Gerard becomes a little bit extraneous.
Yeah, and I don't know Grant McCray's future because he doesn't hit the ball consistently, strikes out over 30% of the time. He's got a great arm, as we saw last year, that cannon shot from right field to third base, gunning down whoever it was on the Dodgers. I can't remember who it was, but that was a beautiful throw. And then you've seen sometimes he can have some power, and he's got great speed, athleticism. As far as I'm concerned, if they can afford to keep him somewhere, I'm not worried about his development, because I don't think he's ever going to you got to send him down and let him develop more. I don't think Grant McCray is going to develop into this big league hitter.
No, but he has a lot of tools. So if he could develop that last tool, which is hitting for average, it doesn't even have to be that. Hitting for average in this day and age in baseball isn't that high. It's hit 250. If he can hit 250, he's got some pop. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's got good defense. He's got speed. So if he could hit for average, he would actually have a really good shot. But you can't have him coming up and striking out all the time. It's just too big of a hole in the lineup. So that's what he has to fix. And if it takes staying in AAA and figuring out how to hit a little bit longer, I think that's fine.
Point. He is only, what is McCray, 24, 25? Let's see how old he is. Grant McCray. You'll probably get to it before I do. Grant McCray.
Come on, Internet.
Is
26 or 25.
25 and 65 days. Yeah, he'll be 25 all year long. Okay. Let me see if I can do a little. Grant McCray from Billings, Montana, played high school at Lakewood Ranch High School in Bradenton, Florida, was drafted by the Giants in the third round in the 2019 MLB draft. There's, who's that sound like?
Is that PMP Los D? Keep an eye on Bo Davidson. Yeah, having him in the big league camp, I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bo Davidson, he won't make the team, but
he'll be fun to watch.
He'll be fun to watch, yeah. And I guess there's a lot of players that are going to be playing in the WBC. I'm assuming we all know Webb, but Jung-Hoo Lee's playing for Korea, right? South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Is Arise playing for Venezuela?
Yes.
Okay. Is
Keaton Wynn is, I think, playing.
Oh, doggone it. We're going to miss out on Keaton Wynn.
He's playing for London or something.
Okay.
Is it Keaton Wynn or Tristan Beck? I can't remember. Giants W.
How about is Ramos playing for Puerto Rico, or is he?
Yeah, he is.
He is playing for Puerto Rico. So this is going to open up for.
And Harrison Bader's playing for Israel. Tristan Beck is playing for Great Britain. Jose Buto's playing for Venezuela. Reaver San Martin, Colombia. Ramos, Puerto Rico. Arias, Venezuela. Jung-Hoo Lee, Webb. A lot of players. Right. Half the team.
Well, that's going to open it up for guys because they're gone for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there's injury risk or whatever, but they're going to go out and play meaningful games, and they're going to be getting some reps. I
thought about that. Yeah, give them some meaningful reps. Who's the favorite in the WBC? Japan again, or is it the U.S.?
Good question. I don't know the answer. Let's see.
Is Puerto Rico going to be able to get their guys the insurance so they can play? I'm hearing By the way,
Team USA is a favorite.
Oh, interesting. Francisco Lindor may have to have Hammett, Hammett part of the
Hammock bone,
hand,
yeah.
Hammett bone may have to have surgery. He's seeing a doctor tomorrow, and my guess is he's probably going to need it because they said it's still bothering him, and he noticed it. It's not going away. So it's a 6-week deal. So he may or may not be available for opening day, but most likely would be pretty close. I mean, that's something that Joey Bart had, and a lot of players get that. Don't the Giants play the Mets early in the season?
Yes, they do.
The Giants play the Mets. Oh yeah, second week of the season. So they play.
They play the Yankees, the Padres, the Mets, the Phillies, and the Orioles.
Games 7 through 10, they are playing the Mets. So 4-game series at Oracle. That's a possibility that they miss out on Lindor not being at full strength, which would help the Giants. So then we've got to look at ideas of, there could be some trades that come down. Injuries happen in spring training to certain teams. I would think that if one of the teams that is hoping to compete for some type of wild card, which you're going to figure is about probably 15 to 20 teams going into this spring training feel like they got a legitimate shot to make the playoffs, right? It's usually 8 to 10 teams fighting for a wild, that are in it. So I would say 15 to 20. If one of those
but it's important.
20 teams loses a third baseman for any significant time, I think teams are going to be calling the Giants about Casey Schmidt. I really do.
I think without a doubt they will. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the Giants' schedule is pretty tough right off the bat, but you're playing teams that could be in that wild card hunt. So the third series of the year against the Mets, you might think, it's still early, no big deal, but those games could come back to haunt you later on. So it's kind of important that the Giants try to get off to a decent start. You don't want to start off in a slump.
Listen to the Giants first. Let me count these up here. 3, 6, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 25, 28, 31. First 31 games through April. Listen to these. They've got 3 with the Yankees, 3 with the Padres, 4 with the Mets, 3 with the Phillies, 3 with Baltimore, 3 with Cincinnati. And you got 3 with Washington, but 3 with LA, 3 with Miami, and then 3 more with Philly. So 6. They're done with Philadelphia by the end of April, which is good because you're catching a team a little bit earlier. So out of those 31 games, you better hope that the Giants win at least 15 of those games, right in that general area, 15, 16. That's a gauntlet of a schedule. And if they can pull that off, then
if they could stay 500 during that stretch. That's a positive.
15, 16, 16, 15. But if they're, you just don't want to be 12 and 19. You just don't want to do that. You don't want to be 12 and 19, 7 games under 500. Now you're chasing. Now, if for some reason they're 18 and 13, 19 and 12, you're feeling really good about the chances. So we'll see where this goes. But a lot of baseball. It's here now. You guys got to come down to spring training. If anybody's coming, let me know. See if I can meet you at one of the games. Would love to meet you. I'm at probably, how many games do they got this spring? There's probably a good 30. I'm just looking at the schedule. I'll be at the first game, which is against Seattle. That's right here on my side of the desert here over on the west side. Then they've got the Cubs, the A's, Angels, Milwaukee, Colorado. Okay, let's see. 1 plus 6, 7, 11, 13, and 20. Yeah, there's close to 30 games. So, and then they play the A's in Sacramento, or I guess not the A's. I don't know if they're playing the A's or if they're playing I think they're playing the River Cats, probably, yeah. On Sunday, March 22nd in Sacramento at 5 o'clock. So and then they come to Oracle for 2 games, Monday, Tuesday against Monterrey, Mexico.
Right. Hey, they're playing Team USA at one of those games. Which game? When is that?
They are playing Team USA on March 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, March 3rd. And yeah, that's right, Mark. We met down at I met Los. I met Los when I was covering the Giants when I had the credentials that year, and met Los there, and then I met Mark. Yeah, 2 great guys now that I talk to all the time. So, yeah, if you guys come to a game, let me know. I'll probably hit, as I'm looking at the schedule, let me see how many I'm going to hit. Tell you for sure. I get 1 there. I'll get 2, 3. Let's see, Cubs. No,
that's interesting. I hadn't heard that, Senior. The Yankees are coming to Arizona to play the Cubs.
I have heard that. 3, 4, 5. I will probably get to about 6 or 7 games of the 27, 28 games here in the Cactus League. So,
hey, Dick Jasper, what about Logan Webb is overrated?
Dick Jasper. Logan Webb.
I'm just curious what the reason. I mean, he led the National League last year in innings pitched and strikeouts, and he led the National League in innings pitched the year before. And, I mean, every year it's over 200 innings. So, I don't know. I think Logan Webb is underrated, personally.
Oh, yeah. Kyle's coming to he's coming to 3 games all at home in Scottsdale with that weekend. You picked the weekend that they're going to be. I'm going to see if I can get down there for that weekend, get to one of those games. Cincinnati, Arizona, and Milwaukee. Yeah. It's a great circuit down here, guys. You guys really should come on down. Senior, I know Senior's coming down. Charlie's got a tournament down here. I can't remember what week you're coming down, but that'll be cool. Deloading says Logan Webb is the definition of underrated. Yeah, I would say he's underrated just simply because of the innings pitched. That is something that people don't realize how important that is, that he not only pitches a ton of innings, but they're effective innings for the most part. For the most part.
But you see all these like lists that come out of like top 10 pitchers and stuff like that, and he's not ever in the conversation, even though he's leading the league in a lot of categories.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I think that's underrated.
And last year
he doesn't throw 100 miles an hour, so people write him off.
Right. But neither did Greg Maddux. I'm not saying he's Greg Maddux, but Greg Maddux didn't even throw close to 100. But hey, guys, I put out a tweet the other day. I want to get your thoughts on this. Let me see if I can pull it up here. People who say that Barry Bonds should not be in the Hall of Fame. I want to know why you say that, because I can argue that he belonged in the Hall of Fame well before the alleged steroid use. Look at this. There are some highlights of him here Every player just said he was just unreal, right? He'd get maybe 3 or 4 pitches to hit in a series, and he would do damage. All right, look what I said about Bonds. Who agrees and disagrees with that? I want to know.
I mean, no one here is going to disagree.
There's some, but from 86 to 99, the guy had before the 2001 season. He bulked up probably over the 2000 season. 445 homers, 460 stolen bases. Look at the RBIs and hits. 8 Gold Gloves and 3 MVPs and a runner-up MVP. You're not telling me that if he retired in 1999, he wouldn't have made the Hall of Fame after the 99 season?
Certainly would have.
So why is he not in the Hall of Fame now? Because he did not test positive. He did not, was not caught.
You'll get no argument from me, but people might argue that there were steroids in the 80s also. The Oakland A's were very familiar with those.
The Bash brothers.
Right. So we don't know what he was on. He didn't get super big until later on, but we don't know what was going on. But even if he was, the rest of the league was too. The pitchers he was facing were on steroids, and it wasn't police, a blind eye to it. And now they're going to punish him while Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
But it comes down to the fact that Bonds was not very nice to the writers, and the writers make the decision, and they've took it upon themselves to keep him out and harbor resentment and hold that against him. And
I remember Dave Henderson. He was pretty built up too on that team. That whole team was probably on roids, man. All right. Final prediction. All right. Let me bring up. I got a paint stick. All right. This is my little paint stick. This is a gun. This is a gun. This is a gun to your head right now, metaphorically. Okay, not literally. How many games are the Giants going to win in 2026?
You want me to answer it?
I want you to answer that. Yeah,
they're going to win. I'm an optimist. I'm saying right now, the way I think they're constructed, the way I think the pitching they have is going to perform, they're going to win 87 games.
Okay. What happens if I said they're going to win 95 games? I'm waiting for the chat to go nuts. Robert will love it. 95 games?
Robert's going to accuse you of being pessimistic.
No, I look, I do think this team can win 90 games if things go right. And why do I say that? Because there is some talent on this team. There is some talent. And I do think they're going to play a much harder brand of baseball with the coaches. I don't think there's any BSers on this team. I don't think there's any passive coaches that they've hired. I think they've hired a team of coaches that are going to expect a lot. They're going to be boisterous. They're not going to be quiet about things. They're going to be energetic. I think this team could surprise. I haven't done my final yet, but let me pull out the I'm going to right now I earlier I had him at 83, 84 in that range. I did bet the over this year again. I took the over at 80.5 before they signed to Rise the day before. I think the over under is 81.5 the last I checked. But I think there's some sneaky things that they have going with pitching. It's going to be up to the bullpen, and that's going to be the thing. But I've seen teams in baseball, I look over my shoulder and I see these hats, and I see teams like the Twins a couple years ago, the Royals overachieve. Anything is possible in baseball. The Royals won I don't know how many games they won, if it was high 80s or something like that 2 years ago when they made the playoffs, but they didn't have any elite pitching. They had a group of guys like the Giants. Pretty
Robert's
much.
in at 90.
Robert's in at 90. And Aaron says, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid already. I don't know where I'm at on this yet. That's why I asked Dallas. But, well, Robert, I wish you would just take the opposite approach, because when you say take my advice, 90 wins, Robert, you make me want to go the other direction, because you've been wrong since we started this channel, which is this is our 4th season. We're going into our 4th season, Robert. I want you to be right. I don't want you to be wrong. So you should take the opposite approach, Robert. Just trust me on this. You've been like Aesop, crying wolf. Robert, say they're going to win 74 games this year, and then watch them win your 90. That's how you do it, Robert.
Reverse psychology.
I'm telling you, Robert, that's what you got to do.
And it's kind of a stock market thing. Like, I think yesterday I would have said 86. But today, after hearing Arise talk in the dugout, I think that guy's here to play. You know, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going up to 87 now. So it's going to be kind of a stock ticker thing until the season starts off. And right now, we went up a point.
All right, I'm going to give you, because I like what Senior's saying here, then we're going to get out of here. The thing about the Giants is last year they had very few injuries. If they had any significant injuries, and that coupled with a weak bullpen, it could be 75 wins for the Giants. I'm going to give you the high and the low for the Giants, okay? Here's the reasoning behind this. The high is everything goes right. Injuries are a minimum. Webb's able to go 33 starts. Ray gets his 30. All the other starters get into the 20s to the low to mid 20s at the worst. At the worst, okay? And they don't get any real significant injuries. You know, they don't lose Devers for 2 months. They don't lose Chapman for a couple of months. They don't lose Adames for a couple of months. You know, Ramos, Lee, they just don't lose a lot of guys, a lot of missed games. I think the ceiling for the Giants, if they stay healthy and they get everybody gelling, I think the ceiling's 90 wins, okay? If what Senior's saying, they have a lot of injuries, they fall apart, I think the floor is about 70 wins. I think there's a 20 – that's really about a 10-game swing, isn't it?
I think they would have to have a lot of injuries to go.
A lot of injuries, yeah. But they don't have the great depth though if they lose key guys.
For me, the floor is about 77, 78. I don't think they're going to go much too far below 500, even if they have some significant injuries. But I don't know. I mean, it depends on who the injuries are.
Yeah, I think the comment of the night, who probably made the most intelligent comment that we've had all night, goes to Aaron. He says, the Giants will be a top 30 team in baseball this year. You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. I think you nailed it. They will be a top 30 team. That is a fact.
They better be.
If not, we're in big trouble. All right, let's get out of here with a little new music tonight, and we'll bring up your chats as we close out the show with a little closing music. This is a first time, maybe the second time we've played it, but we'll play this one all the way through. A little pop on this one here. So thanks for watching. We'll be back Thursday night. Hey, Thursday night, it'll be Jeff Young joining us. Jeff Young you see him on Twitter. He writes for the Giants and does a great job over there. So Baseball Jeff, number 1, Baseball Jeff 1. He writes for Around the Foghorn, and he does a lot of stuff on Twitter, puts out a lot of good stuff. We'll get his input on Thursday night. So make sure you're here Thursday night. And thanks for watching. Also, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, guys, you know what I forgot to do? I got to mention our sponsors. Hey, we got great sponsor with Prize Picks, guys. And you know what? We're going to do a one of these nights, Dallas and I we'll play some Prize Picks. We'll put up our picks right here on the screen and let you guys play along with us. So Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you build lineups by choosing whether players will have more or less than a projected stat total. Just use that promo code right there, NCSN, and you will get $50 with your first $5 play. That's right. New users get $50 in lineups when they play their first $5 lineup, win or lose. Not $50 and then you get $50 given to you or matched. It's $50 for a $5 play. And Prize Picks is available in 45 states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today, build your lineup, and follow along while watching the games. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Like I said, we will have some fun with that. And then I'll mention Chapman Law Group over the music here, guys. But enjoy this new music on the way out. Thanks for watching. Also want to thank our other sponsor of NorCal Sports Network, our longtime sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, you guys know them over there in Marin. Give David Chapman and his group a call at 415-613-9483. Don't settle with that insurance company before calling Chapman Law Group. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. The call's free. The consultation's free. Give David Chapman and his group a call over at 415-613-9483. How you liking the jam here? A little catchy. Yeah. Not bad. Not too bad. I don't know how much time we got to go on this thing, but I like the sound. We played with this. This was supposed to be an opening, but we're using it as a close. All right, guys. I'm just looking at any last-minute comments I see. All right. Hey, make sure you hit me up, NorCal Sports Network at gmail.com. If you want to meet me here, if you're coming down for spring training, hit me up on an email. And we'll see if we can meet up. Maybe meet Los and I together. And we'll go to our favorite deli in Scottsdale. That's right. Los and I like to visit the eateries. Yeah, the finer foods place. So, all right, guys. Make sure you hit me up. Oh, fantasy baseball. You want to hit me up there, too. You want to play? We got 2 leagues going, $100 league and a $200 league. Hit us up, NorCal Sports Network at Gmail. Going to be a lot of fun. Openings, or I should say, they're filling up, so get in fast. All right, guys, have a great night, and we will see you Thursday night. Take care.